All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Symphogear, Season 3, Episode 1. Season 2 was awesome, and now we're on to a new season, and because it's the Symphogear fashion, there's going to be some kind of, crazy awesome visual upgrade and things like that. And I've also heard that most people debate whether it's opening 3, 4, or 5 that's the best, so
we're starting to get into the goated OPs?
I think so.
So all the ones that we've watched thus far are mid for Symphogear fans.
Which is crazy to think about, because
That
we've had
blows
some
my
pretty
mind.
strong OPs.
Like, we've had some good ones.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And just thinking about how the visuals upgraded from Season 1 to Season 2, I can't imagine what it's going to be like Season 2
I don't think
to
the
Season
percentage increase will be that much better.
Right, probably not.
I think if anything, it's going to be where it's like, oh, this is definitely an upgrade. But it's not going to be like, holy shit,
Not
wow.
quite as night and day, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, we have a larger cast of characters to work with. We have a new kind of stage of the story to look forward to, in that the first one is kind of finished.
Yes.
Yeah?
Theme, indeed.
Yeah. But they did tease some things and set up some things and leave some things open-ended just enough in the end of Season 2.
Yeah.
Where they could open up those gates. They could plunder that ancient city again.
If we go into space or something like that, we do kind of need to be united on the planet first. Yeah, or other dimensions. That's true.
Do we though?
I mean, it would probably help.
It would help, but do you
like,
think humanity is really that on that level to where we're even capable of it?
I mean, music is powerful, and hand-holding is even more powerful.
It is.
So
that's true.
That's true, it could happen.
But do we have the capacity to speak the words of truth, where the Lulu-ML can be the masters of their own fate?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Can the voices of the Angelus reach the nations of the world?
And what even is going to be the antagonistic force for this season? Because I could see it being other, people in the world, as they're, uniting humanity. But it could also be some crazy anti-spiral shit or something from Beyond the Stars.
If anything, I feel like this is going to be that stage in the story where we get that whole, let's plan the exact end point of the series.
Right.
And people really like this stuff, so let's plot the exact course, so that even though we won't know the details of what's in there, we know it's going this direction.
Right.
And that's the way we're going, but we're going to go really far in that direction.
Yeah.
We're going to go so far.
3 is a pattern. The second season was we didn't expect to get this.
The experiment worked, so let's finish the experiment.
Let's do it again and finish it. Right. And then, oh, we got a third season.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go all the way. Let's Gurren Lagann. Let's trigger this shit. Let's go.
And I am absolutely down for that.
The music's going to be probably the thing that's going to blow my nuts off.
Just a bit, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion.
Okay.
Wow, just blew our minds on every level conceivably in an episode 1. This was way more than I expected.
Just the first sequence alone would have been enough for me to be like, okay, the visuals this season are amazing. They stepped it up, and goddamn. But then on top of that, we got the idol performance.
The idol performance was crazier.
And then we also got a bunch of fights.
Yeah, the idol performance especially, though, is something that I would show people off, show off to people right now and say, this is what animation is capable of.
Yeah, I feel like
that was...
Yeah,
that was crazy.
I feel like the idol performances could very easily become sort of the the metric, the measuring stick,
the benchmark.
Yeah, the benchmark, because we know what the idol it's a lot easier to compare idol performances versus saving a rocket versus saving a train or something, right?
Yeah, and also comparing it to animation outside of this show.
Sure.
Well.
Yep.
Holy shit.
But damn. Although I gotta say, for all of the stuff that was set up here, I love the new character designs that they introduced and the idea that there's some sort of mysterious new conflict.
Yeah.
But them saving the rocket and just seeing them get launched in a rocket to save another rocket, and then they jettison out of the rocket, riding Chris's rockets to then
land on the rocket.
To land on the rocket.
To slow down the rocket.
To slow down the rocket, and then it's the thing of okay, well, theoretically, you could direct it to like another area. No. There's people on the rocket that we need to save, right? So we are actually
need to land the rocket.
And naturally, the best way to do that is to pilot it and then break everything that before it hits the rocket, right?
Right.
So just, you need to, you're going to hit a mountain.
You're going to hit K2 specifically. Like one of the biggest mountains. In fact, I think it's the biggest if you, depending on how you count Everest or K2 basically. But that's hilarious because then splitting it to the point where it's such a big explosion that it just kind of goes.
Third biggest mountain. Yeah. Yep.
Hilarious. Then
keep
coasting
going.
it and surfing basically the earth as you go through all these canyons and stuff to then stop at a village where instead of killing some old people that are there in the village that can't move away fast enough, we're going to flip the rocket over and have it land just barely on the other side of the building to then have the astronauts then fire off the rockets to stabilize it and move it up just that last little bit and then have it land. And that was all in like a 6-minute sequence there.
And during that, we also had Forrest Haircut, where Tsubasa's like, I create swords. What I'm going to do is create a big-ass sword right in front of the rocket. So as it goes through the forest, just
shears it.
Just shears them. Cuts them right through, like paper. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There were multiple things in this episode that made me think, okay, yeah, we're going full Gurren Lagann.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, this thing in the beginning was crazy. But, like, the way they set up things with even some of the lyrics for the Idol performance song, they were like, oh, yeah, we're going all the way. We're going all the way to galaxy crosses and, shit like that. I'm like, yes, absolutely.
At some point, Hibiki is going to punch a galaxy to stop it. Because it's going to be like hurled at their galaxy or something like that.
Or sing to all the galaxies of
exactly
of the universe,
right.
What have
yes,
you.
yes. All the galaxies will harmonize with her, and she will hold hands with the galactic arms and just be like, we're all friends here.
With the living consciousness of all that is existence. Yes.
Yep.
We're going there. Yep. So, wonderful. I mean, this gave me everything I wanted in a Symphogear episode, and I liked that when the exposition was, very much like, hey, okay, it's time for us to talk at you about things that we know about.
Season. We're setting up,
we're telling you. So, they haven't figured out the best way yet to still, make the exposition feel like, like it actually needs to be said for the characters, but that's okay because they kept it very short. It was very much to the point. It was very efficient.
Definitely an improvement over the exposition for the beginning of season 2 with setting things up. I really liked how it was done, and it was a way to basically showcase that some of the, because if you think about it, makes sense. If the show's going to be going on longer, then that means we can spend time with other characters that we might not have had time for before. So we can have side characters in their group just be like, oh yeah, we're also hanging out and talking and stuff, right? And just get into their dynamic. Cool.
Yes.
Why not?
Yes, we spent a lot of time in the episode just seeing the characters going about their lives in the midst of an action-packed and animation spectacle episode. So there were so many things that were set pieces, and yet we still had time for characters to just chill out and have a good time at school.
Exactly.
Now, I love the school antics. I love the relationship stuff. Like that stuff is cute and adorable and wonderful. I just love when episodes like this do all of it in the one episode, because you can't really afford to do that in every single episode. That's too hard.
Yeah.
You can't really advance things too far when doing that. So having that all be for the sake of the first episode is just proof that on some level anime originals actually have that slight advantage over sometimes their, adaptation, counterparts, because you can basically say, hey, this is the first episode, so we kind of need to do things a very specific way.
Yep, and
to
we
get
will.
People invested, and we did.
Right, touch base on everything.
On everything,
not necessarily progress it too much, but just reintroduce it for the audience, and now we have a foundation to work off of.
And then blow our minds with how much they presented all this. Like,
oh my God.
This was... I have no words.
But then on top of that, we also got some wonderful showing rather than telling, and some mystery thrown in as for who these antagonists are, where their power comes from, what their motivation is. Like, because, comparing to, say, the second season, not to, knock the second season or whatever, but just to show how it's improved, right?
Yeah.
You had the antagonists talking about what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
here, we just have people showing up, doing stuff. We have a figure that they're chasing, so that's already someone that we are sympathetic towards from the new characters being introduced, and someone that the main characters could help. We've got a bunch of very, very different characters that are all operating independently, so, we don't know what their dynamic is with each other. And then they have a different aesthetic, too, with one of them being very fantasy style, which is like, okay.
Yeah, what's the overall direction in that regard? Because they don't look like they should be working together.
And they don't look like they're using Symphogear.
Nope.
Right? Like, because they weren't singing.
Yeah, in some ways, the thing that makes me kind of excited about them is that they feel like they're puppets of something or some organization elsewhere, something else. And thus I was thinking, well, the possibility is that they're all Fine. They're all some kind of aspect of that. But based on how season 2 ended, I don't think Fine's coming back necessarily. She could be like a final series kind of thing, as like a send off of like all the characters that brought them this far. What have you.
Exactly. Yeah.
But for the things they're setting up here, I got the vibe of our MacGuffin thing that the young girl that is keeping the legacy of Dverg Dian.
Right.
Okay. All right. Mystery thing, crazy cool name. I don't recognize the name at all, so that's probably something that's just set up for later. But the idea that it has some kind of key code on it to probably unlock it and open it means that there's a possibility that this girl does not actually have access to whatever's inside it.
Sure.
And she just knows that it's better in her hands than whoever they are.
Yep.
Now, the attackers all are very different, but they all have a very unique thing in common other than the Symphogear aspect, is that they all are using powers that seem to be based off of some kind of item. Some kind of thing. So one of them has coins, the other one has sword, and the other one has like very much like an arcane focus of sorts.
Right.
So the idea is that Symphogear might be an ancient type of relic, an item, or something like that. Something heretical technology-wise.
A category, right?
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that there couldn't be other
types
heretical item or relic users. Yeah,
Yeah, and the idea that they don't seem to be tied to any national point of origin because they don't have any uniforms, they don't have any...
Very much acting on their own.
Yeah, their designs don't share any commonality
right
in the slightest bit. The only thing that I could say that is very, connected about them is that it's a meta thing, is that they have the most ostentatious kind of outfits.
Yeah, like, with one of them straight up JoJo posing.
Right, there is no reason on the, immediate, observable reason as to why they have these outfits, other than maybe the one that seems to be more machine and or doll-like, or, not human of sorts.
That outfit seemed the most, potentially easy to blend in, because it's like, okay, you got a sweet dress, right? All right,
right,
cool.
Like a mannequin. Yeah. You're something that's trying to appear too hard to look like you are just. I'm just another person here, but
but then you have Magical Girl, and it's like, okay,
you really stand out,
right? Assuming that these aren't Symphogear, and so they don't have transformations or anything, right? At best, people will think you're a cosplayer or something, right? But you will totally stand out.
I want to throw out a really funny idea here, though, because this is something that I could absolutely see Symphogear doing. But as they move more into the vein of power of your spirit and your heart is what powers your actual anime power, the more they could actually just make choonies or fans of that into actual power users.
Sure.
Because then they basically, by the power of their raw imagination and will and whatever that is, they could have this kind of power.
Who says that the song of the people's hearts has to be actual music?
Yeah, true.
Music is more of a manifestation of the inner desires of the heart, right? Given some sort of form. So theoretically, you could get something else.
Now they do all have some kind of heretical piece of technology, except for we don't know what the coins thing is necessarily, except coins has also the cultural thing of potentially being old. So
yeah, it has an aesthetic to it for sure.
People don't use coins anymore.
And then weirdly, the most supernatural thing that the dancer did was the
sucking,
the good suck kiss of death,
of death.
which feels like some kind of fantastical mythological creature, you know, kind of a thing, right? Like
sure.
where it's innately a part of her self and who she is, than necessarily like an item, even though she did have that sword. And
the sword did look like it's not
like not just a basic ass sword. Yeah,
no, it looked ornate and old, and it came out of those like Babylon dimension or what have you.
But the probably the biggest thing that they put in this episode that I really loved that they did is the flashback for an antagonistic character in their introductory episode.
Introduced to.
Right, we were just introduced to, and for like 3 seconds, and we know that her dad was burned at the stake.
Probably for magic.
Yeah. Theoretically, it could have even been her magic.
Sure.
But I'm pretty sure that communicates that she is not from this time.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
You know, while...
So that's where the Fine theory comes in.
Right.
I'd say.
And while we did see dimensional stuff happening in season 2, so theoretically these people could have, you know...
Time travel.
Tucked away, either time traveled or tucked away into some other dimension where they just... stayed there and then now they emerge or something like that.
Yep, this could be a tie-in to the little Babylon, you know, vault dimension thing, and that these are just people that are getting out.
Exactly, because the frontier was, you know, had all that stuff happen with it. You know, it's either the Avengers thing of, you know, the Earth is ready for a higher form of war, or it just disrupts some other things that were maybe lying hidden. Right, and now things are starting to wake up.
Yeah, or Ver was onto something in that this is now the time for the Age of Heroes, and these are just humanity's heroes. And we could get a whole on like Fate JoJo's Symphogear hybrid, where it's like you know people with really obtuse supernatural abilities, but are from history, but are also the ones that you've never heard of. You know, so there's weird references and stuff.
Exactly.
One of them gave a full name though, Carol Malus Dienhelm, and mentioned about their alchemy and that they would bring about the apocalypse of all creation.
And while I think that was something where she was referring to herself, and just doing like the anime thing of like referring to herself in the third person, you know,
that's the Chuni thing I got the vibe of.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. There is the possibility that might actually be the person that they all like serve or something like that, you know. So
it's possible, yeah.
But regardless of what the details are, I love how much we were able to get about these new antagonists in the first episode without actually really knowing what's going on, having a sense of it, having that mystery built up, making me curious and wanting to get answers to those questions, but not actually having them just yet.
Yeah, because this is very much a part 1 of how many kind of premiere beginning here.
Right.
So if anything, the next episode or 2 will probably give us a better picture of what we're in for. But yeah, I particularly just really like the fact that we got all that, plus having all our just our shipping stuff and our, you know,
get a room, you two.
Yeah. Come on, lesbians, let's go. You know, like oh my god.
Yeah, Miku being like, wait, hold on, you're just holding hands
in public, wrapped around each other, and then they're just like obsessed with each other. It's like, your hands are so cool and fresh. Like, of course I have to. I'm obsessed with your top arm. It's like, oh my god, yes. Let me try.
And then Miku's
she doesn't touch your arm.
No,
she touches Miku's arm. And it's like, oh.
Yeah. It's Miku is
so wholesome.
Miku is an absolutely wonderful character. They're all great characters, but Miku, one of these days, girl.
Gambate.
One of these days.
Yeah.
Just keep holding out hope. You know, when you think about where you were at in the first season with not even being able to be brought into this whole Symphogear world and all the secrets and looking at the Be Honest to Yourself book, this is a lot better.
The progress has been made.
Yeah.
So far, everybody is okay. Though there's something else they hinted at here, and I brought it up in the reaction. That's why I'm saving it for till the end here, because you guys already heard me bring it up. But there were like 3 things that very much gave me the hint of, oh, this is an anti-Symphogear group. 1, Hibiki says, I'm so grateful for the miracle that I get to wear Symphogear.
Right.
Cool. They use the word miracle. I will just say that the writing in this show is very unsubtle.
Yes.
It will. Sorry. At times it's very unsubtle. There's times where I miss something. It's so subtle.
Sometimes it can be so subtle. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I completely missed it.
Yeah.
So with this here, we have the word miracle being used at the beginning. Later at the end,
I eat miracles.
I destroy miracles. Okay, but then also the dancer specifically said to Maria, without Symphogear, you're worthless to me. Meaning that she's not actually here for you, Maria.
No.
But she's here for Symphogear.
Yeah, maybe for Tsubasa to defend you, and then, like, you know, yeah.
Possibly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we're in a situation now where because of Maria's being locked up, she's not given access to Symphogear. Thus, she does her idol performance, but then after that, immediately put back into custody. So she very much will continue to build this persona of being the ultimate, you know, savior of the world.
Well, and nobody knows anything about her life or whatever. But nobody's anything about
her life. She's invisible outside of her performances. And then Tsubasa is going to be the one where she'll probably be the darling of everybody else in terms of how much she's going to go on, like, TV, you know, interviews and stuff like that.
And depending on how much... how many collabs the two of them do, if everyone knows that Maria helped to save the world, then I feel like people will pretty quickly clue into the fact that, hey, that blue-haired girl that was next to Maria for all of that, she kind of looks like Tsubasa. Maybe not.
Maybe.
You know, yeah.
Maybe. It depends on how smart they want to make this world. I don't know. Yeah. It depends on also whether or not worth focusing on.
It's just one of those crazy Reddit theories, you know, where they're like, no, guys.
No, on Reddit, it's confirmed. Because all the normies see it as a theory.
Yes, that's right.
That's But, okay, 3 new antagonists.
Yep.
Potentially all with different motivations. Not exactly sure what's going on here. But, yeah. The Song Organization, SONG, which we'll have to go and pause and, you know, at a different point, read all those little text boxes and see what kind of stuff could be built up in the world building there.
Yep.
But yeah, beautiful. Amazing.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, spectacular first episode.
And also, it did feel like kind of maybe a tie-in to the OVAs in that they were like, hey, let's hang out at Chris's place for watching the performance. And Chris has this, like, awesome TV and sound system and everything, and that might be because of some of the movies that Genjiro lent to her, you know. and now she's like, yes, she has been roped into Genjiro's passion of film and all of that stuff. So, you know, or maybe it's just
or maybe not.
You know, it's innocuous. There's nothing to it, you know.
Who's to know? But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.